Niklas, how are you?
Hello, man. How are you?
Everything is good. How you been?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Everything is good. Still warm in Portugal, so it's all good.
Nice.
Anyway, before we talk about Death Above Life, early this year, you guys toured with Trivium and Bullet for My Valentine. You guys played Portugal. How was the tour in general for you guys?
It's a great. It was a great tour for us. I know playing these awesome big arenas was, yeah, it was special to say the least. Especially playing the O2 there in London was really cool, like a bucket list thing. But when we came to Portugal, the crowd was just nuts, and we loved every second of it. So yeah, it was great.
We tend to be a bit crazy sometimes.
I love that.
And so, when did you guys start working on the songs for the new record, Death Above Life?
It was just after our previous headline tour, Descending into Madness, which we finished in April last year. And then we had some time between April to July before the Slipknot tour that we did to write most of the stuff. So the bulk of the album was written April, May, and June, and it went pretty fast. Nothing, really complicated about this making this one until we started to play. We played the Slipknot shows, and then we got invited to play the Not Fest in South America and stuff. But in the back of our minds, we knew that we needed to record the album too. We just had like the finished demos. So we recorded the whole thing in November, December, and finished it off now in January this year. And then it was sent off to mixing.
Yeah. You still very much a DIY band. You recorded most of the stuff at home, or you went to a studio, this time around? How did it work?
It's pretty much do-it-yourself kind of style still, we're so used to it these days. So it feels good to, feels familiar. What has changed is we built this studio that I'm in now with our own bare hands. So now we actually have a great space to, both write and record. So we have shifted from the bedroom producer to an actual like the do-it-yourself kind of studio. So it's all good.
So it's a bigger space. Everybody, when you guys write, everybody's together, or normally you still collect the ideas individually?
I still do the writing at home in my apartment. Yeah, I've done that for so many years now. I see no reason like to change that. But what happened on this record was also that we tried a new thing to have Christopher, the drummer, write all of his drum parts, because back in the day I was just like filling it in with like MIDI notes and shit, and I mistakenly thought that he like had 8 arms. like so it was good that he could like write his own drum parts. We did the same for the bass. I sent the instrumentals to Frederick so he could write his bass and stuff. So rather, yeah, I write the music, but they come with their own like flavors when it comes to writing their parts, I would say, these days.
It's a way to make them feel included as well.
Yeah, of course, and they are great musicians, so I must utilize that too.
You don't want those situations like it's happening now with Cradle of Filth, where people come and go, and because they're not happy with whatever it's happening. But it's good to see that you're responsible for the songwriting, but you give the opportunity to the band members to put their own input into the writing anyway. So it's important
Yeah,
to have that.
I think we came to that conclusion, pretty early on, that we should always serve the music first, and put the egos aside. And if they think something that I wrote or are doing is bad, they will pretty much say it. So, and we are all in it for to create the best music that we can at the time. So it's a very collaborative thing, even though I write they come with so many ideas.
Yeah.
Once the foundation is laid out.
Did anyone ever actually told you that that idea that you had sucked big time?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't say it like out loud, but you can see it in their eyes if they get excited or not.
You remember what was the first song that you actually had completed, or most of it was done on these recordings for this album? The first idea that turned into a song and it was like almost complete?
I think it might have been The Tales of War, the first single that we put out, but I'm not sure. I have to double check. I might say the wrong thing now, but I think it was that song. But most of the songs were written simultaneously, except for the ballad "The Path I Walk," which that song has been with us for a few years, and we didn't know what to do with it. So in that sense, that song was, written the first, but it was never meant for this album or meant for any album. But it just happened now that we wanted to finish it, and it turned out cool, so we put it on the album.
So you thought it was like the right time for that song to come alive, so to say?
Yeah, definitely. That song, as I said, like we never knew what to do with it. If we should have these like comb vocals, or should we like scream the vocals? Should we have like this distorted guitars at the ending? So it took a lot of like different shapes and forms to get it done. But once like the actual lyrics were written, then everything just made sense. So that's why we brought it on.
Yeah, and you feel more confident now with if you have ideas that are slightly different from what fans can expect in a way. You feel more confident that you can, play them and they will accept it as good ideas as well.
I think it is kind of a complicated thing, the relationship between maybe a fan and what they like kind of expect, but those voices tend to go away pretty fast for
Yeah.
me. Because first of all, like I have to write for myself and the band first, like what we want to hear, and I think that's the best approach for us, because then if we're honest to ourselves, I think that resonates with the fan even more in the long run. Even though they can be like worried that we're changing up stuff and stuff like that, but that's just a natural part of like trying to do something new that feels new for us, at least.
Yeah, I think some fans, the ones that follow you since day one, they're a bit afraid that you guys get too big because then
Yeah.
you're not their band anymore. You have more. It's very funny sometimes how the metalheads, mind works. It's like they like the band when it's small, and
Yeah.
when the band grows, they start disliking it and like, I know, but I'm fan since day one. I remember their demo tape or whatever it was. And
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I mean, I think that's just a part of the metal community in a nutshell, I guess. But I must say, I'm also one of those guys, because especially when I was a teenager, when I just love The Way of All Flesh by Gojira, and when they released L'Enfant Sauvage, I was like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck are they doing? But now I love L'Enfant Sauvage so much. It's just, I just have to get used to it.
And you have to go with the band, if they're evolving and they're growing, you need to grow with them as well.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And, reading the press release, you guys mentioned, soundtracks, Hans Zimmer, Howard Shore, movie soundtracks as a bigger inspiration more than metal these days. Why is that for you specifically?
I think, and I mean, it's a problem. It's a good problem, but also became kind of a bad problem. I mean, we've played so much live these last couple of years now, so you kind of live and breathe metal all the time. So to put on metal while you're going to sleep, that doesn't work for me anymore, because it's just buzzing in your head.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are still cool songs that being released and stuff, but I always gravitate to more towards cinematic stuff these days because I mean, metal is it's a mood. Like I know people who can listen to metal because they're sad or they're happy and stuff like that, but I want to listen to metal when I'm like energized.
Yeah.
That's like how I consume metal. But 80% of the time I'm just tired, so I put on movie music instead, which is a bit easier on the ear.
Yeah, and on this record, you got the song "Hydra," which you guys released the video as well, which was inspired by Dune. Again, the soundtrack inspiration also transcends into the video stuff that you guys are doing now. Is something that you guys want to explore further in the future? Because I see some bands really going the cinematic route for videos, and I absolutely love it. Even though I'm old, I grew up with seeing like Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen and thought it was an amazing video. But now
Yeah.
seeing cinematic stuff, it's also impressive. And I know it can be expensive, but it's really worth when you put so much effort into something like that.
Yeah. I think. I mean, for us, the problem the problem I would say that we do is that once we started to add all those cinematic elements, it got the song sounded a bit like too vast or too big for us to be making a video, let's say in the rehearsal space here where we just play, because then it would not capture those cinematic elements that we have visually either. So that's why we had to like amp up the videos too. And yeah, it's a stupid thing because it costs so fucking much to do that. But no, finding that desert was just a happy accident because our day-to-day manager Mario lives in Los Angeles, and he said like, yeah, we have this desert out here in Los Angeles if you want to check it out. And so we ended up shooting there. So it's just a happy accident. But he also knew that I love Dune, so
Yeah.
it was just a match made.
Was it very warm when you guys did the video, or?
It was hot for sure, but it was very windy. But I guess that's natural thing of the desert too, because it's you have no trees, you just
Yes.
got hills. So it was very windy, but quite hot during the daytime. But we shot like the night scenes during the night, and it was fucking freezing in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about deserts. You know, it gets really warm during the day, but at night it gets fucking cold.
Yeah.
It's like it should be hot. Really depends on the time of the year, I guess, and the desert you're in. But I guess, I mean, if it's in Africa, I guess it's warm as well at night. It gets a bit chill. But if you got on the northern hemisphere, I think it's more contrasty when it comes to temperatures. Really warm
Yeah.
and really cold. So,
Yeah, luckily for us, we had some like pyro stuff there, so everybody was like between the shots were like getting closer to the fire and like, pyro man, can you blow it up again?
from the this is again the cinematic route that you guys are using more and more on the music. Is it something that you guys see growing even more on in the future with Orbit Culture?
I think so. I think it's always gonna be there in some way. Maybe we just do a complete 180 and just like stick to like regular instruments that we actually can play. But I don't know. These days it just feels so imprinted in our spine and sound that we like the all that cinematic stuff feels like a virtual fifth member that we is non-existing in the real world. But I think it's gonna be there in some way all the
Yeah.
time.
Do you program that stuff yourself? I know there's a lot of, technology has evolved so much that you can find virtually any sound and instrument digitally. How do you normally program that or play that more cinematic stuff that, or ever strings or more environmental stuff? How do you do that?
Yeah, like I have this MIDI piano here in front of me actually, which is I'm no like piano player, whatsoever. But what's cool is that I can like find something that kind of works, and then I just edit it like with the mouse and stuff. And I do the same for like the cinematic drums. I can sit like bum 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 like that, and then build it up from there. So it is like you have choirs, you have the strings, you have the percussion, you have these weird like metal effects that you can put in clocks, whatever you can find, and that's what I find so cool because you can sit and play guitar for 3 hours and then you get tired of that shit. So then I turn into this stuff and build something on that. So like it's just a good getaway sometimes that became a tool to create Orbiculture songs too.
And with that stuff, do you still use your sister's SingStar microphone, or that's gone?
Funny that you mentioned that, but no, I think it's buried somewhere in a moving box at my mom's place or something. Fuck that mic.
Those microphones were terrible. Even if it was cool back in the day to for the games that the SingStar games, it was fun. But when you become a musician and you say like, this is like a really piece of shit.
Yeah, and I think. I mean, no matter how like you twist and turn it, maybe you can get a good sound of it, but when being like 14, 15 years old and recording that through Audacity, that free software, it sounded like shit, but it was also like the starting point for something cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, we have nicer tools these days, so I'm
Yeah.
happy about that.
I still use Audacity sometimes to record, some voice stuff. I have Pro Tools, but
Yeah,
now I did the unfortunate thing of updating the iOS, the OS, the operating system, and I forgot to check if Pro Tools was compatible with the
oh
new,
no,
and it's not yet. And I keep forgetting that Pro Tools, they take a lot of fucking time to update, to make it compatible with the latest operating system. And now to record my radio show, I have to use Audacity to record the voiceover
yeah,
takes.
but it actually it's a good recorder, but it was so difficult to like make songs in it. But
Yeah.
for that use, I think it's killer. But I actually kind of in the same boat as you. But my computer, like my main one, crashed the other day, so I had to buy. That was a PC. I've always been a PC guy, but this was the first time I actually bought a MacBook. So
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more sturdy these days.
Yeah. I was just stupid. I saw the update and I didn't think, because normally, because of a lot of software, even like photography software, you need to be careful with the update. And
Yeah.
for some reason, I just did the update and then I was like, oh. And
Fuck.
as soon as I turned on Pro Tools, it was like, bam, error. It was buffering problem. And I was like, okay, I know what the issue is.
Yeah.
Every day I check for the update to see if there's a new
Yeah.
update, but there's nothing. Anyway, and with the album coming out, you guys have a European tour coming up September, October. You guys are going to bring Gary with you, Portuguese
Yes.
band, which they sign now with Century Media as well. You looking forward for that tour? It's a killer package, by the way.
It's amazing, and I'm so lucky that we got them on board because we know that we had one chance to get them before they got too big.
Yeah,
So we were like, yeah, we have to get them on board. Uh, Unfortunately, there was no like Portugal dates on the tour,
yeah.
which I thought was fucking weird, but maybe next time. But I saw that Gary is gonna extend their tour a bit and do some
Yeah.
Portugal shows too. And then we have Atlas on board too from Finland. So yeah, we have a super solid package for this tour for sure.
Yeah. And for 2026, what are the plans for you guys? Tour.
Yes, definitely tour. We are in the planning stages of getting this US tour going, and but that will be 26, and then in the summer we just announced Wacken, Summer Breeze, and all those big festivals. We're gonna be busy for sure.
Hey, festivals are always nice. So
I
there might,
love it. Yeah.
there might be a chance that you stop in Portugal for one of those festivals. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know how the planner looked like, but maybe we will see.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, I'm not, I don't know anything. I'm just guessing
Yeah.
because normally, if you look like some bands that play, Wacken and then they play another festival before or after, they can stop in Portugal for one of the festivals that normally happens. It's the same with, bands that play at Bloodstock. They play sometimes in Portugal as well. So,
Yeah.
I always look at the festivals and I can almost guess which is the big bands that are playing in what festival in
Yeah,
Portugal.
yeah, because of the routing, yeah.
Yeah, it becomes so predictable in a way. And music wise, you guys done the record. You don't want to think about it, or you're always getting ideas here and there for a future album.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm already tired of Death Above Life because I've listened to it too much, making it. So I've already started to write on the next stuff. But I that's been the case for so many years now. I get tired of the pretty fast, and then I have nothing else to do. So then I just end up by the computer again to write new shit.
And it's important sometimes to have something, on the back burner, as they say, because sometimes the label or management can say, "Hey guys, what about the new album?" And you go, "What?"
Yeah, exactly.
It's good to have that. Anyway, Niklas, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Death Above Life. Hopefully, we'll see you guys in Portugal in 2026. And, otherwise, you got this tour with Gary fans. I know there is some really, fans of Gary that might want to sleep in some of those European dates to check that tour as well. So it would be nice. I actually thinking of looking at the dates if I have some free time, because I think it's a very nice package, that September, October, whatever, tour. It's really nice. And you with Gary, I think it's a killer lineup, really, to be honest. And
Hell yeah.
I think either one, Orbit Culture or Gary, can get big really quickly.
Yeah, we will see. But I definitely think that you should come out if you have the time, and just let us know, and we'll put you on the lists and whatnot.
Yes. All right, Niklas, thank you very much for your time. All the best for Orbit Culture. Hopefully we'll see you guys back in Portugal next year. So all the best, and see you soon. All right?
Absolutely, man. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.